I'm not gonna touch the derailleur. I'm not gonna even look at it. No, I'm gonna look at it. I'm not gonna touch it. I'm not gonna use any tools. And I will be 90% sure whether it's the rear derailleur that is bent or it's the hanger that is bent. It might be both, but I will be pretty sure which one is more bent, or maybe just one of those two is bent. How do we check it? It's pretty simple. Let's go to the bike. And as I was telling you a couple of times before, if the hanger is bent a little, because if the hanger is bent like a lot, everything is rubbish. But if the hanger is bent just a little, what you will find out is that the derailleur will work pretty nicely on even most of the gears, but you will find some place, usually somewhere in the middle on 1x12 drivetrains, that it doesn't shift crisp. Here, no problems. I can go all the way to the lowest gear. I can go down. Don't look at this one. I'm going to show you that in a second. The shifting is crisp. It's fine. Could be maybe adjusted a little bit, but it's really fine. So the hanger is either straight or bent very, very little. So I'm not worrying about the hanger right now. But what I'm going to show you, maybe you've noticed that already, is the noise, which starts somewhere here. This noise doesn't come from the chain wanting to go either up or down on the cassette. That would mean that the cable tension is wrong. Is the chain rubbing against either the outer or inner plate of this cage. That means the cage is crooked. And also when we go to the first one, the lowest gear will always tell you a lot, because this is the most extreme chain line. It's a rubbish chain line on 1x12 drivetrains. This is just a bad design. But what happens here, it happened also already before, is that we lose the chain on the pulley. Let's see the close-up. When this happens, you are 100% sure that it's the, at least cage or the derailleur bent, because as you can see, the chain is already off the pulley's teeth. That means that geometry, at least between these two pulleys, is wrong. Of course, the whole drivetrain will be noisy, but this is obvious. We're talking about the derailleur being bent. Of course, this is extreme. If the derailleur is bent just a little, you will still hear more noises on those pulleys. So, as I'm saying, with 90% of accuracy, I'm able to find out with my client, before he or she goes home and leaves me with the bike, I can tell, okay, we probably have the problem with the derailleur. Now, important thing, how not to look at this problem. It would seem so obvious, but you don't want to be diagnosing the rear derailleur being bent or not by simply looking at it, because it will not be straight. You can see that those pulleys are not in line, right? They are more like something like this. No, the other way around, right? So they are bent like this. When you look at the new derailleur, I'm going to show you. Same Diori derailleur. When you look at those pulleys, can you see that they are not in line? They're not. And it's not the problem with this derailleur, it's new. It's just that on 1x12 drivetrain, both Eagle and SRAM Eagle and Shimano 12-speed have to be bent and twisted in order to somehow work on these badly designed 1x12 drivetrains. So when you see, oh, it's crooked, we need to replace it, it might be that you will replace good derailleur with a good derailleur. I can see that it's bent or crooked or twisted more than the new one, but just looking at it doesn't say much. The noises around the cage will tell you a lot. I will of course check the hanger, but probably it's straight. And then I asked my client, did you have a crash? Because you don't see it on the derailleur. He says, no, I haven't, but there was some branch that came into my wheel and pulled off my derailleur, and now I'm sure what happened here. And my friends, the B gap is very important here, because in this case, as I told you, it's the branch that twisted, damaged the derailleur. But when you don't have the correct B gap, so that's the gap between the upper pulley, the guide pulley, and the cassette, usually when it's too tight, it will be tight when you are shifting, and when you shift quick, maybe you don't have experience, or you're racing and you just don't care, you need to overtake before the single track, you can damage both the derailleur and the derailleur hanger. That's why SRAM had so many problems with the AXS, which still isn't good in my opinion. First, it was so quick, working nice, but it would have some problems with bending the hangers, in my opinion, especially on those 52 teeth cassettes. So then they slowed it down. When they slowed it down, people hated that update. Now we have this newest thing from SRAM, which I will be probably testing on my racing bike, but just for a couple of races, and I'm sure I'm gonna go back to the mechanical, because I just like it. My most appreciated drivetrain would be 2x11 or 2x10 instead of 1x12, but that's what we have, and that's what you do in your workshops now. I hope it was helpful. No magic here, you can just use it in your practice. Bye bye guys.